services, then many newcomers in Scarborough are well acquainted with poverty. Indeed, as the interim strategy acknowledges, newcomers are overrepresented among the city's poor. The stories I have heard from newcomers echo the many stories of poverty across the city. Parents faced with the daily existence of worrying about paying rent whilst raising young children without access to affordable childcare and with barriers to finding steady, decent paying employment. Seniors not being able to find an affordable place to live with dignity and being dependent on their children because their retirement funds are tied up with financing their children's home, or not knowing about social benefits available to them due to the lack of knowledge about these services. And when everyday life centers around struggling to meet basic needs, newcomers in Scarborough, who are often without knowledge about the city's social and institutional infrastructure, and also lack the experience, cultural and linguistic know-how, and confidence to pursue a broad range of opportunities and supports that may mitigate some challenges, are not in a viable position to address or give voice to these overwhelming and at times debilitating realities, and are thus invisibilized or overlooked altogether. Excuse me. That said, I have learned in my work that newcomers are equipped to not only identify issues, but also to proffer sustainable, sensible solutions, owing not only to their education and work experience, but also because of their lived experiences here in Toronto. But they need the right support, and they need to be invited to the table. We have seen that community-based measures have an important impact. Community agencies have created the so-called front line, where over time they have formed meaningful interactions, forged two-way relationships, and built the foundation for practices, best practices with high-need newcomer communities. And when newcomers are able to take part in community-based programs and they are consulted, they are able to flourish and are motivated to be more active in their communities and to share information and take part in the city's planning and implementation processes.
Can I ask you to conclude, if you would?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So as the report wisely states, programs and services to residents ought to be viewed as investments. As the city moves forward with its poverty reduction strategy, I hope it will leverage and bolster the work done by community agencies along with resident-led initiatives to ensure inclusionary measures that will have real impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Questions of Ms. Kim? Yes. Councillor Ainsley.
Thank you for coming in this morning. As a Scarborough councillor, I just want to know if you had anything that you wanted to add in terms of service providing for newcomers in Scarborough?
I think it's important to acknowledge a lot of the gaps that newcomers face. So it's really about connecting newcomers with the existing infrastructure.